Hi everyone, I'm Naomi Rockwell for NBTV and this is Breaking Bitcoin.
Welcome to Breaking Bitcoin, recorded live. Today is Friday, January 24th, 2020, foul year of our Lord. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. This is your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for traders. If you have not already, make sure to subscribe to the channel or give us a follow if you're watching on one of our live streaming platforms. We've got a fantastic show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about Bakkt. We're going to be talking about Square. We're going to be talking about Hawaii. Probably one of the best places to go, in my personal opinion. We're going to be talking about Chinese New Year, and of course, we're going to be breaking down the cryptocurrency markets, also taking a look at precious metals and some currency pairs, potentially even some stocks and indices today, as we get ready to move into the weekend of Chinese New Year. BitMEX CEO Arthur Hayes predicting that volume is going to take a nosedive. This is a cyclical thing that we have seen year after year. So honestly, the prognostications and the predictions for moving into Chinese New Year from most analysts are going to be fairly negative. But of course, we're going to go look at the algorithm. We're going to look at the indicators, see what we're doing in the market, talk about what the best thing to do and how to protect yourself if we are going to see a further correction incoming, which seems most likely at this point in time. Before we begin, I want to talk about premium member updates. Of course, if you guys are interested in becoming a full-time professional trader, check out all our services at premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. And this section is for them, letting them know what is upcoming in the pipeline. So as you guys know, Quadriga ATR, which is our stop and target system, I refactored that code completely. You guys have seen that on stream. I hope to have that published and ready for you guys on TradingView no later than next week. I've also written the user manual for it. That will be published as well. It's currently going through our editing department. As you guys know, I've talked about this. I talked about this at the community mentoring session on Wednesday, which we are going to be doing for our premium advanced, professional, and elite members. It's a 2-hour session every Wednesday, a chance to take a deep dive into a component of our strategy building and then answer any questions freely. Nice open air environment. I want to thank the guys who came out on Wednesday. It was a fantastic session, and I'm looking forward to carrying that forward through the next few weeks, or excuse me, perpetually, forever. But senior analyst Alex and myself have created a new indicator called the bottom feeder. You guys know that we do not trade reversals, but we have been able to finally, with optimizing our indicator suite, be able to find an indicator that pretty much reliably catches every single bottom and doesn't get you into bad trades. So that's going to be a add-on. It's going to be an add-on indicator for those who are looking for those kinds of signals. It has its own built-in stop and target system. It's about 85% correct on the daily time frame for all major BTC indices, and that's tested from 2016 to 2018 and 2018 to 2020. So it works reliably on both time frames. So whether there's a massive bull market in the middle or not, it just works the way that it's supposed to. I need to write the user manual for that, how to utilize the indicator, but I hope to get that up. We're running it through some more additional testing because when we create indicators, we do more testing than we do for developing strategies with pre-made indicators, for example. So we run it through all of our systems and make sure that it is not curve fit, to make sure that it performs reliably, to make sure that there's no issues with execution if it's automated. So these are all steps that we're going to be taking. Want to thank Crypto Jack, lead moderator, for making yet another premium Discord video tutorial that is going through the final editing process right now. It's fantastic because we have introduced a new trade delivery system for our premium members. So walking them through all of that, explaining in detail what every single component is, as well as an updated walkthrough of all the premium channels that you guys get with premium membership access to the premium Discord. Again, I talked about the group mentoring session. I want to thank Paul. He also wrote a great general Discord tutorial article that's going to be available on our website here next week. And then, as you guys know, my main project this week was working on Minx, which is probably our most popular indicator for trend entries and reversals. And I've worked on upgrading that. Again, a project I've been doing with senior analyst Alex. That's kind of how the bottom feeder came to be. And I'm not quite done with that yet. I've made a lot of progress, so I'll be working on that more this weekend. Most likely finish that up next week, as well as writing the user manual. And then by request, a new updated frequently asked questions section is going to be done next week and then uploaded for you guys so that you guys can have a good access. We've got a lot of good questions, introductory questions such as margin and leverage, how to access certain items, how to get access to everything that you get with membership. So that's been completely updated, and that FAQ will be available in the premium section of the Discord, as well as in the trading academy that you guys have access to. So let's get right into today's analysis. With that, of course, if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure to put them in the live chat. The moderators will grab them and I will get to them after we do the analysis section, after we do the news, and then we go to the Q&A section toward the end of the first hour. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit the thumbs up button if you have not already, and let's get going with today's BTC analysis. All right, so here we are in the live scene. Hopefully you guys are doing fantastic. We are here on the daily Coinbase chart as we are wont to do. Price currently trading at about 84.60 and a half. We've got, overall, in my opinion, nothing extremely exciting. What happened yesterday? We did end up closing below the baseline. We did not violate the initiator signal, so we did not take a full risk short signal. We had WADA confirmation on yesterday's close. Let's make sure that this is going to be reset except for color bars. Sorry, I just don't like it. I added that feature by request, but a lot of people don't like it when they color bars. Excuse me. I added that feature by request, but I don't personally like it when my indicators color bars. It's just a feature request. So anyways, WADA, we had WADA confirmation yesterday, but not a rising explosion level, letting us know the volatility is not yet increasing to the upside. However, what do we see out of this distribution period? We do see falling volume. That is going to be almost always not very bullish. Again, as I said, whichever direction the next larger movement comes from is going to predict at least the medium-term trend for Bitcoin. We got that breakdown to the downside. I think a lot of individuals are feeling that this is a local bottom. I think that they are most likely incorrect as far as that perspective is. So I am hedged. I am not in a full risk short. I have other positions open. In fact, I still have long exposure open in other crypto assets, but I do not have direct exposure to BTC right now. Again, I unhedged when we were moving up in this cycle. So I was able to return about 7% on my total equity just by holding Bitcoin at the right time and exiting at the right time. Now I'm hedged and I have locked in those USD gains relative to where I re-entered into Bitcoin. And now I will wait until the bullish trend reemerges or until we reach a local bottom a significant swing bottom until I move back into Bitcoin. Again, still waiting on the baseline. Baseline sitting up around 86.21. So we've got a few areas that we need to get over. Because we did not violate the downside, because we did not get the signal to go full risk short, we can still, if we rally from here and close sufficiently high above the baseline and break our continuation line, we can be looking for continuation longs. It's actually going to be a primary long at that point in time, which means we're going to need volume confirmation. And if you're using a confirmer, you're going to need that to agree as well. So right now, we're not going to be getting volume confirmation with WADA anyways. Potentially, you guys are using a different volatility filter. That's going to be down to your personal algorithm. But we do need to broach, with my system, 86.91. We need to get a daily close above that level before we can be looking to take price higher up into the 9,000s, maybe even closer to 10,000. Depends on where our weighted ATR is at that point in time. But as we are right now, Bitcoin is in a no trade zone. You can see that the colors of the candle bars are black, indicating that we are below the baseline. Again, we have not violated the downside risk. We actually need to get a close below 83.90 to be looking for full risk shorts. I will be taking a full risk short on that daily breach of that level. I'm assuming that that has the potential to happen over the weekend. But other than that, overall, again, just in a no trade zone here on Bitcoin. The appropriate thing to do, in my opinion, is to be hedged because we have lost the bullish trend. So you never want to fight and struggle against the dominant trend. Again, it's stair steps up, elevator down. Although in Bitcoin's case, it tends on average to be elevator up, stair steps down. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Depends on what time frame you're viewing. Again, on the daily tends to be a little different than most assets. But anyways, in a no trade zone here on Bitcoin, nothing really to do unless we get the daily close below 83.90. Then we can be looking for full risk shorts. That's a full breakdown of this bullish range and the initiation of a bearish trend. Right now, we're in no trend. We're in a neutral trend. We've just lost the bullish trend that happened on yesterday's daily close. And we needed to get a daily close above 86.91 for continuation of the bullish trend. Again, to be taking price up into the $9,000 and $10,000 area. Let's see here. If we talked about this yesterday, I don't know if it's because I'm using the backup account or if any of you guys are noticing it, but TradingView has been absolutely annoying with their server overload for the last few days. Let's go ahead and take a look at Quadriga ATR. You guys can see the updates that I've made. If one was entering into a short off of today's candle, again, the system is not confirming that, but we do have a take profit zone between 81.29 and 74.46. You guys can see those clearly laid out right there, with risk being managed at 89.84. Now, keep in mind that you will not actually, in practice, have to worry about that getting hit unless we get an explosion of volatility, because closing above 86.91 is going to be getting you out of that trade anyways. So you'll be taking a significantly smaller loss than you would think up front when you're calculating your risk up front for a position. But again, not signaling for that. Interestingly enough, I do want to bring your guys' attention to this. I thought this was very interesting, and we're still running this in alpha mode at this point in time. So not live traded. So we are here on the BTC USD Coinbase chart. Here is the bottom feeder algorithm right here. And it did signal for buys, reversal buys here, 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 and here, as you guys can see. And then this is a pretty unique algorithm in how it takes profit and exits trades. But it did not signal on yesterday's close over here on the Coinbase chart. So no local bottom, in my opinion, here on BTC USD. And again, as the bullish trend has been lost, I would expect further downside. But again, volume is quite low. So getting into what Arthur Hayes, BitMEX CEO, says, Bitcoin volume is going to nosedive as Chinese New Year approaches. I would say that he's been fairly vindicated by this, as volume has fallen off. And what can happen when volume falls out of the market? Volatility tends to increase intraday. But again, we don't get those nice, beautiful trending movements, because market makers are just banging about right now, trying to find retail and fleece them as they are wont to do. But again, we do know that there is a large amount of volume that has left the market. At least this is the meme. This is the meme. The meme is that the Chinese market represents, obviously a large portion of volume for cryptocurrency. And as we move into Chinese New Year, where there's lots of traveling and celebration, we're not going to see them actively trading. But keep in mind, ironically, that this does line up on a Saturday where we see volume leave the markets anyways. Typically, we get a large movement on Monday, sometimes Tuesday, and then we'll get a large movement on Friday. Typically, we dump on Friday evening. I don't know if you guys have noticed this correlation, but that's how we tend to work. And then nothing really happens over Saturday and Sunday except for bobbing and ranging around. And then we kind of see how Monday's candle close dictates and directs the price action over the course of the week. One potential way to look at it. But yes, we are moving into Saturday. Today is of course Friday. So expecting low volatility, not really expecting anything that happens this weekend to be indicative of which way the market's going to move mesoterm. Again, could we see a short-term rally up to like 86.22, 8,600? Yes, we absolutely could. But right now, if that occurs on the weekends, we can't put any faith in that, because if you guys just go back and backtest, you'll see that often when we put in corrections or rallies on weekends, come Sunday evening when the CME futures open up, we gap back down and we return all of that. And in fact, the market often does that for the CME futures before the CME open on Sunday evening anyways. So I'd be very hesitant to be looking for longs on the daily time frame. Now, the 4-hour chart is kind of interesting here. If we go to the 4-hour chart, and again, remember, you're going to have to pick a time frame and trade it. I don't recommend, if you're not a consistently profitable trader, I don't recommend going down lower than daily until you have gotten that locked down, because if you're a new trader, you don't want to be taking 10, 15 trades a day. You don't really want to even be taking 10, 15 trades a week. You want to be taking 3 to 5 trades a month and getting profitability under your belt, building the psychological discipline and the risk management and the capital management skills that are going to serve as the true bedrock for your career as a trader. A lot of individual traders, a lot of individuals come into the market and they just want to be as active as possible, and they think there's some magical system that they can just incorporate that's going to make them a successful trader. Now, although a technical strategy very similar to the one that we teach at Cracking Cryptocurrency is going to significantly increase your statistical odds of being a profitable trader, what matters at the end of the day is your discipline and your money management skills. Those are the bedrock for any trader. In fact, we have a standing bet. I will flip a coin long and short with risk management skills, and you can do whatever you want. You can use any indicator that you want. You can use our proprietary indicators to go long and short if you want with no money management skills, and I will outperform you at the end of the year. So very, very, very vital skills. But the 4-hour time frame did signal a false positive for a long on the previous 4-hour candle close. We did close above the baseline. No volume confirmation coming in from WADA. In fact, falling volume on the current candle. Now, assuming we can get some WADA confirmation coming in here, let's take a look at Quadriga and see where we might potentially be looking for here. We would potentially be looking for, let's let Quadriga load here. Again, TradingView has been frustrating over the last few days. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but looking at the 4-hour time frame, we would potentially be looking up to 8,600 to 8,839 for that TP. Basically a retest of the level of supply. And then again, those who are trading price action would be looking at that as a retest of supply, the initiation of selling, and be looking to short from there. So for those of you who are looking to get a little bit of a better entry on your hedge short, or for those of you who may have even bought the dip, that might be on the table. Again, with the falling volume, it does seem to feel less likely at this point in time. All right, so let's go to the daily. So summary on that, no trade zone on the daily. I am hedged short, looking for further downside, and we'll wait to see what the market responds with on Monday to kind of take our next step in action. Be very wary of any movements over the weekend. Low volume contributes to high volatility, and it's often in high volatility markets with low volume where there is no follow through on rallies or dumps. And you want to be careful. Again, falling volume is not bullish. Volume is always bearish. Falling volume is always bearish. All right, so let's go ahead and move on over to Ethereum. And of course, we'll do the weekly analysis on Bitcoin and all our majors come on Monday when the Sunday candle closes for the week. Ethereum, interestingly enough, as we said yesterday, still in a no trade zone, but not bearish. Not bearish yet. We were able to hold the daily baseline on Ethereum, putting in a long tail to the downside, a bull wick to the downside. Now, with the falling volume, I don't actually consider this very bullish. Normally, if this occurred with a rise in volume subsequently, or if we were close to the bottom of a market cycle, if we had been in a downtrend for a while, this would be relatively bullish. And I would assume that the bottom feeder indicator might even indicate that this would be a local bottom. But we're not getting that at this point in time. This just looks like a short-term rally. We are holding the baseline, so it is inappropriate to be looking for shorts, and you would not want to be hedged yet. Eli back, thank you so much for the $5, my friend. He says, good to see you. Please check out LSK, bought in around 8,300. Eli, I mean, there's not even a point for me to look at your chart. All you send me is winners, brother. All you send me is winners. But yes, the mods will get that, man. You'll be the first thing I get to, brother, when we get to the Q&A section. Thank you so much. So again, it's inappropriate to be looking for shorts here on Ethereum. In my opinion, we are above the baseline. When we violate that baseline at 159.68, we can start hedging, and we want to be below 153.09 to be looking for shorts, because that's going to determine that most likely we're going to see prices lower in the 140, maybe even the 130 region on this correction. All right. Jury is still out. Of course, we would only be doing, prognostication and predictions, and doing basically what you see on all other, LARPer analyst channel out there. If we were to say, well, we're going to come down to this high and this low, that's not real trading. That's not how things work. We follow the trend. The trend tells us exactly when and where to trade, and we are consistently profitable. Now, because we are still holding the baseline, if we do rally here and get a daily close above 168.27 with volume confirmation. Oh, actually, we don't even need volume confirmation at this point. We could actually be looking for continuation longs, but we'll believe it when we see it, and we got a little bit of work to do. We got $6 on the daily time frame that we got to rally and close above here for Ethereum to be looking for continuation long. So overall, no trade zone for me. Holding the baseline, not hedged. If you're holding Ethereum as a base asset, I think it's inappropriate to be hedging at this point in time unless you have some discretionary factors. The other thing on Bitcoin that I wanted to point out, of course, we talk about this quite a lot. Let's get rid of WADA here for a second, and I want to pull up BitMEX funding from N59. This is a fantastic indicator. We've talked about this at length, and this one takes even longer to load, so I'm going to take a sip of this water if you don't mind. There we go. Now, I've talked about BitMEX funding before. When funding spikes wildly positive, that means that the majority of the market is attempting to long outsized, and we can often expect a correction incoming. I don't see any correlation between bips and bobs and dips in the market and BitMEX funding. It's very simple. When BitMEX funding spikes to the upside, there are metrics that I have. You guys, I encourage you to discover those for your own. What are the values? What are the levels that you want to look for? We almost always correct significantly from that. And again, we talked about this the other day. I talked about this in the community mentoring session. I do have an algorithm that I've composed that trades differently from my PTP system. I'm currently trading it, paper trading it on testnet. It's taken completely different trades. I'm not going to trade it independent. I'm not going to I'm not going to adopt that system. It's going to be something that I'm going to run independently of my PTP strategy, because PTP has allowed me to be a consistently profitable trader, but we always look to grow. We always look to add components to our system, thus the bottom feeder, thus this strategy. And again, BitMEX funding is one of the discretionary factors that this algo brings into mind, and it would have sold and shorted the market on this candle that I'm highlighting on the 17th of January 2020. Now, although we did see a little bit further upside from there, only on a wick, that was the highest daily close that we got. And we're seeing the exact same thing right now. Not as high, but we can see that a lot of individuals tried to buy the dip. Retail is trying to buy the dip here, and I think that they are likely to be punished. This also works very similar in reverse. Whenever we get significant retail shorting the market, we typically pump to the upside, right? As you guys can see right on this candle, and as you guys can see on these two candles right here. And on this candle, we did have a little bit of further downside. Actually, no, that's not even low enough. So that's not even breaching my metrics. We saw the exact same thing on this candle right before the Jericho to the upside. And we can see it just over and over and over again. We can go back to the 29th of August and see it. This was the low of the market. Everybody tried to short it. And what happened? We moved to the upside. So good discretionary indicator to keep in mind as well, something that we keep our eye on in the group. Getting back, we did Ethereum. Let's move on to ZERP. Looking at ZERP on the daily. I think I'm going to change my tactic out there. I think I've been far too negative on ZERP. Yeah, but we should bring the XRP community in, especially if we're going to be analyzing it every day. So if you guys are ZERP fans out there, just go ahead and give a holler in the chat, and we will not throw water balloons at you. Okay, so XRP on the daily, again, in a no trade zone for me, very similar to Ethereum, putting in a long tail to the downside. But again, since all the dollar pairs are going to be correlated to Bitcoin, and since Bitcoin is overall still bearish, I would be bearish on these assets as well, regardless of the tail that we got to the downside. Again, we're not at the end of a long downtrend. We're not at the end of a long movement. We kind of see this all the time, where we might experience a local bottom, a couple days of correction, and then we continue moving to the downside. But overall, no trade zone on XRP. We are below the baseline, so if you're holding XRP as a base asset, I would have that hedged with a future short or with option contracts or by moving into Tether. It's whatever, your preference is. Again, I don't like to sell my fundamental assets. I just hedge. I utilize futures so that I can earn on the way down. It's psychological. But we do need to close below 2167 to actually be looking for shorts at this point in time. And we do need to rally and get above 2359 to be looking for continuation longs at this point in time. Overall downtrend as predicted by the system here. But again, in a no trade zone on XRP. Let's get WADA up, okay, so I can see if we have what kind of confirmation we have. Yeah, and no bearish confirmation yet from WADA. Falling volume, not very bullish. Looking to the 4-hour here on XRP as well. Even the 4-hour is quite bearish on XRP. The 4-hour would have gotten you short on this candle right here and taken you all the way down, and you would be exiting on the previous candle from my system's indication, and then on this candle with WADA TAR explosion as an exit indicator. Let's take a look at the we'll get the chat fixed for next week, I promise, guys. Just have to kind of deal right now. All right. Moving on to EOS USD on the daily. EOS USD on the daily is probably the most bullish of all of them, but still in a no trade zone. Falling volume, long tail to the downside, green body candle right now, typically a bullish candle, not really in consolidation, not really after a little bit of pronounced downtrend here. We are in a no trade zone. We do need to rally and close the daily above $3.69 to be looking for a long continuation trade. We also, falling volume again from WADA. So this is not bullish. Falling volume is not bullish, guys. Falling volume is not bullish. We're kind of looking for that significant breakdown. We already saw the the beginning of it on Bitcoin, and we're just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop right now. So I would definitely want to be prepared for that movement and not wishes and fishes, if you guys know what I mean. So EOS USD in a no trade zone. We need to be below, what is it? Excuse me. We need to be below $3.35 to begin looking for shorts here now on EOS, with lower targets potentially around 290 and 270. We need to be above $3.69 to be looking for a long trade here on EOS. Other than that, not a whole lot to do with the major dollar pairs. Even here on the 4 hour, let's take a look. 4 hour, I assume, is going to be a little bit baby bullish. Yeah, we actually do have a long signal on the meso time frame over here on the 4 hour. I'd be a little hesitant with this, especially with the falling volume on the daily. You guys can kind of see this, not a big explosion of volume. Again, we do have water confirmation and a rising explosion level, so a local drip and drab. So the only really thing that looks positive, the only thing that's worth a punt here on the 4 hour on the meso is going to be EOS to the upside. But again, not a trade that I would take. And I'll get into your guys' chart requests and questions again toward the end of the show. It is 12:28 and it is a Friday, so I want to take a little bit longer time. Let's go ahead and take a look over at gold. See how gold's going to close for the week. Looking at the CFD over here on a Wanda. Now, again, interestingly enough, gold rallying a little bit. We can kind of see the correlation between gold and Bitcoin, which has been a little bit more pronounced since the US-Iran tensions and kind of falling off now, because as we can see here, gold holding its level far more significantly than Bitcoin did. Of course, Bitcoin being a little bit more of a volatile asset. But gold correcting earlier and rallying now a little bit, hasn't broken our previous closing high level. Again, currently trading, let's double check over here, currently trading at 1572. A lot of individuals quite bullish on gold. We did not violate the bullish trend here on gold. So you could look at this potentially. It depends on what you want to consider a leading indicator of which, and how strongly you believe the correlation between gold and Bitcoin is. I believe that the correlation is fading a little bit since, the message came out that, hey guys, World War III is canceled, back to work, blah, blah, blah. I think that helped strengthen the correlation and helped strengthen these underlying assets in the first place, because it was right with the news of that we did, or the beginning of the tensions of that we started to see the price increase on Bitcoin significantly, and gold kind of went a little parabolic here as well. But gold looking like it wants to make a try for recovery. If we close the way that we do today, I would potentially want to set orders on Monday to take the market open. Just depends on how we see. Another more conservative approach would be to wait and see how the market opens up. On Sunday evening when the CFD markets open up here on a Wanda. But we are again looking to close above our baseline, which is sitting at 1567. And as long as we close above 1570, I would think, to be quite honest with you, we're not getting the right WADA confirmation. Volatility is dropping off. I think that we're better to wait for a day or so and get that WADA confirmation if we're going to be taking that nice, because this is going to be an initial long signal, because we did close below the baseline, but we didn't close below channel, right? We didn't violate the downside trend, and risk management is going to be pretty good here. On gold, but I would like to see a stronger signal before I get back into gold here, before I get back into ZAO. So what I'd be looking for is I'd be looking to close strongly above the baseline in this case, and I want to be getting some form of confirmation signal, either from the continuation filter that I have on the screen or from WADA TAR explosion, which we're not getting either right now. All we have right now is price action and the baseline, and unfortunately, that's just not going to be enough. We have 3 days of being in channel. This is a no trade zone for me on gold, although it looks promising, but we need to see the volume come in. We need to see that the buyers are serious before we start risking capital on gold. It's been a good run. It's been a good run. Looking over at silver, again, silver having a more volatile rally today. Remember, we're going into the weekend. Market's going to be closing on the CFD markets today. So again, not something that I act on. As you can see, we are moving in channel. We are going to be closing in channel unless we can close above 1824. We need to be closing above 1824. And to be quite honest, since we violated the downtrend, as you guys can see over here, I wish you guys could see when I point, over on the 20th, we actually need to get above $18.36 to be signaling for a long trade. Now, interestingly enough, we do actually have WADA confirmation for the upside, but we don't have price action confirmation. So again, similarly over here, as you can see, the bar is yellow. That means we're trading in channel, and we need to be above 1836 with the same volume signature to be looking for continuation here on silver. And assuming that we can get there, these profit targets will be a little bit higher, but we'd be looking initially, I'm going to assume for 1877, 1909, and then most likely 1930 or around that area right there for further upside targets on silver. So we'll see what the market looks like on Monday. Of course, we'll take a look again at precious metals on Monday and see if we can actually be taking silver to the upside. Right now, no. Let's take a look at some of my let's take a look at some of my open Forex trades. There's too many currency pairs to go through, so unless you guys have specific requests, I'll just kind of show you guys the trades that I take and how they've accelerated. And we're going to be looking to add Forex delivery into our signal delivery service here. So I'll give you guys an update. You guys know that I took the pound Kiwi long. The premium members do the other day. I talked about this on stream. Went long on this candle, hit take profit one around 199.16, and my stop loss was just hit right now at a break-even stop loss. So I was out of that trade with 50% of my profit, moved my stop loss to break-even. So I made a good amount of money on the trade, not as much as I would have liked to, but again, another successfully closed trade over there in the Forex markets. I'll be kind of updating my trading journal with that this evening. Looking at the Kiwi dollar, I am still short on the Kiwi dollar, short on the Kiwi dollar from over here. Again, price moved down. It's already hit, it hasn't quite hit take profit one. So I still do have risk on the Kiwi dollar. Price did come up to our continuation entry. The Kiwi dollar is signaling for continuation on today's candle. We still have a rising explosion level, rising Wada explosion, rising volume to the downside, falling volume to the downside overall. But this is good. This is good. We are getting confirmation for continuation. Now, if we do close above 66.21, then I'll be looking to exit that trade at a small loss. But until then, looking for that further downside target. Looking at the Canadian Swissy, short on the Canadian Swissy for about 3 days now, was able to capture that large candle to the downside. Again, didn't enter, I entered right here on the initial signal, not on the secondary candle. So price has retreated. I've already hit my first take profit on this trade. Haven't gotten the exit signal yet to exit. So enjoyed the movement to the downside. Price has retraced a little bit, a bearish tail to the upside today. So we'll see what we kind of get on the Sunday open. Looking at the euro yen, I have it circled exactly where I shorted from. And just so you guys can see, this is one of my favorite trades so far, shorting the euro yen. We got the broach. You guys can see those white dots. That's the initiation signal. We broached that on this candle, closed. We had Wada confirmation trading above, not a rising explosion level. I took the short right there, and I was able to wake up to a beautiful day of profit and then following on into today. So probably the best trade on the euro, probably the best Forex trade that I've had so far this year. I've been able to secure about, so far I've been able to secure about 136 pips on this trade alone. So again, most successful trade that I've had on Forex this year so far. Pound Swissy, I am actually long on the Pound Swissy. I believe I'll have to double check Awanda this morning because I haven't looked at it today. I only look at it one time a day. But I do believe that my take profit might have gotten hit. If it has not, I'm going to be in a little bit of drawdown, but I haven't gotten an exit signal from the Pound Swissy here so far. And then give you guys an update on another trade, Engine Coin, holding still a long position open on this as well. So we'll get to that. We'll look at your requests here later on when we get to the request section. Really quickly, looking at sensor charts on the daily, we can see we have a little bit of rally here on the 5-minute chart. We're looking at BTC USDT on Binance. We recently have delta divergence kicking in and price pulling back a little bit to the shorter term EMA here. Order book's pretty thick to the downside. Where are our significant walls today? We've got a pretty significant wall at 8560, 8600 and 8610. And to the downside, we've got a pretty beefy wall at 8450. So that's going to be the area to violate for further downside. Overall, the volume delta here is negative. We have more selling than buying over the last hour, and it seems that bears are holding that current level of about 8490 pretty well. Again, the next significant level is going to be that 8560 and then stretching up to 8600. So as I said, could we see a rally up to 8600 and see some of those walls drop down? Yes, we absolutely could. I'd be a little conservative about looking for higher targets than that. Again, the trend is currently to the downside, but we are in a no trade zone for that. So hedging is appropriate to the downside. Hedging is appropriate to the downside. Full risk short trades, I don't think are appropriate to the downside, but if you were looking for a better optimum entry, I would be watching this pretty closely today, seeing how price interacts around 8,600, seeing if these walls go down. And if price breaks and violates this area, and we do reject from 8,500, if we see those walls start disappearing around 84, 8,300, then potentially, if you want to be aggressive, you could be looking for that initiation short there. Looking at the broader market, overall, relatively an okay day for alt BTC pairs, but let's go look at the dollar pairs. Again, overall, a pretty good day for the market in general. BSV up 6%, Mana up 8%, Beam up 5.2%, Kyber Network up 8%, CKB up 13.7%, RLC up, LSK up, LSK continuing to pump. So great. We actually talked about this like 3 days ago. NRG up. Overall, everything up. Rising tide lifts all boats, and Bitcoin is putting a little bit of a small rally today, and altcoins are rallying a little bit more. So overall, I would say more profitable to be having positions in altcoins today, with a few exceptions. Bytecoin, Stacks token, Theta, Lamb, SNX, Komodo, for example, big losers for the day. Overall, not a bad day in the altcoin market. The corrections are on corrections on coins that have pumped significantly, and overall, everything is pretty much up. This is a pretty healthy day in the market for altcoins. So cheers to the hodlers out there, and looking for significant trades over here. Again, we've seen the most significant trades come in over the last few hours to the downside. Recently, just some significant buying coming in on ByBit. So leverage trading, if we take a look at where the spot volume is coming from, yeah, all the spot volume is actual selling. So we can see just on here between GDAX and Bitstamp, we can see about $1 million sold. And other than that, everything else is going to be leverage volume, which you want to take with a grain of salt. But overall, we can see that the overwhelming amount is to the downside. We do have around 2 hours ago some big buying occur, which is going to be right around this area right here, getting trapped to the upside, unfortunately, or again, manipulating price to the upside and capturing retail leverage. But we can see currently the local stop hunt area is going to be right here at these local tops. We have formed a lower low, now looking to broach a lower low yet below 84.50, seeing if we can get that nice close. Somewhere around 84.25 is where we'd be looking for here on the lower time frames to kind of confer that swing failure pattern. All right, so that's going to conclude the daily analysis, guys. That's going to conclude the daily analysis. I want to thank today's crypto comment giveaway sponsor, Spectre Security Coin. Make sure to go check them out at spectresecurity.io. I would highly recommend you go to spectresecurity.io and check out their one-on-one consultations. They are the security experts that... It happened again. And I'm back. But Spectre Security are the individuals that I trust with my personal security, and Kraken Crypto trust with their security. So if you guys want a consultation, or you guys want to make sure that you are just securing your cryptocurrency correctly, you want to make sure that you are securing your crypto assets correctly, that you are using exchanges correctly, that you are setting up a VPN appropriately, that you're just browsing safely, that you're storing everything appropriately. You do not want to be Peter Schiff. You do not want to wake up and lose your crypto. And overall, you don't want to be leaking your privacy and personal information to everybody on the interwebs. Okay, just checking. Wanted to make sure that I didn't screw anything up with the stream. But go visit my friends over at Spectre Security. Tell them Justin sent you. I'll actually have a newer link here come next week. But at spectresecurity.io. And I want to thank them for sponsoring today's crypto comment giveaway sponsor, where we give away crypto every single day on this channel by selecting a random commenter from the YouTube show. And we're going to do that right now. We're going to load comments up. Yesterday's video had 18 unique commenters. Let's randomly pick a winner. Oh, no. We had one of those spammy guys come in. It's Bird. He says, got to take the signals as they come, even though they are not in my favor. Got to take the signals as they come, even though they are not in my favor. Every single trading system is going to have periods of losers and winners, and it is only by accumulating the data that you can make an objective decision as to whether whether your system is not good, not optimum to the asset class that you're trading, or whether you're just going through a losing downturn. This is why paper trading, this is why low risk is absolutely essential when introducing a new strategy into the market. These things take time. What are we trying to build here, gentlemen? We are trying to build, ladies and gentlemen, don't want to be gender inclusive. We are trying to build a strategy and a system that is going to be our companion for the rest of our trading career. The rest of our trading career. Not for a day, not for a week, not for a month, forever, for as long as we choose to be a market participant. So thank you so much for the comment, my friend. Keep that chin up. Get a hold of me in the Discord at JustinWise5696. I will gladly tip you some crypto, or you can join the Spectre Discord. Link is in our Discord. And I can tip you directly in their bot spam channel. Make sure to message the bot or myself or any of the staff members if you need any questions or help on that. Thank you so much for the participation. If you guys would like the chance to win some crypto assets of yourself, then please leave a comment below today's video. Let us know what you learned. Let us know what you liked. Questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, or death threats are accepted down below if you're watching on YouTube. Okay, now let's get into today's crypto currently segment. I want to talk about Bakkt, I want to talk about Square, and I want to talk about Hawaii, not Hawaii 5.0, but Hawaii, a recent Hawaii bill that'll allow banks to be custodians of your crypto. Let's get going, guys. Our first story is going to come from the Daily Crypto Brief, The Block. We're going to be talking about Bakkt. The title of this article is Bakkt's consumer app is coming in 2020, and it'll look more like PayPal than Coinbase. Now, to break this down, Bakkt is, for those of you who don't know, the physically settled Bitcoin futures contract platform. It's operated by the Intercontinental Exchange that operates exchanges for financial and commodity markets around the world, including the New York Stock Exchange. Now, they have recently revealed details of their upcoming cryptocurrency trading app. Their president, Adam White, was at the recent World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, and he described their development of their new consumer-facing application. He made it clear that they intend to launch this app later this year, and that it's more than just a crypto trading app. It's going to support all manner of digital assets, not just cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, but any form, according to him, of value that is digital. And that includes Bitcoin or virtual goods, equities, and anything else that you could potentially put on a blockchain. Now, Bakkt is marketing the functionality of its upcoming app as an all-inclusive fintech solution. This is going to promote, in their opinion, mass adoption, a lot of consumer use, and that it will also allow retailers to accept Bitcoin payments, so fitting nicely into the merchant solution system that we need right now. Now, their chief product officer, Mike Blandina, suggested that the upcoming app is going to be designed to fix some of the gray areas in the realm of crypto payment processing, addressing issues around the infrastructure, mostly including trust, digital handshakes, and things of that nature. Now, they posted a blog post back in October, and they said that their firm was focused on building the app and merchant portal with coffeehouse giant Starbucks serving as a launch partner. Now, while they were at Davos this week, CEO Adam White commented on the general state of the crypto industry, stating categorically that the space still needs a killer app that will accelerate adoption for all cryptocurrencies. But it remains just a matter of time before that kind of app gets created. He said, I don't think we're there yet. But he said what gave him optimism was the fact that we're seeing a lot of interest from developers. And he was confident that someone is going to build something. I would argue that we already have. It's called Bitcoin. Maybe you've heard of it. But, is it possible that Bakkt is already well underway to launching this killer app solution? Is the PayPal of crypto apps coming later this year? Is this really the app that can help spark adoption, launch adoption? And if it is, how do we feel about the fact that the Intercontinental Exchange is going to be the ones that are ultimately behind it? How do we feel about the fact that Bakkt is ultimately going to be the ones that are behind it? Does that not stab against the ethos slightly of cryptocurrency, where we developed all of this technology to get away from the financial solutions, and we screamed about mass adoption for years, and finally, what do we get? The New York Stock Exchange coming in and saying, yeah, don't worry, we'll market this. We'll get this done for you guys. Don't worry about it. So again, I think this is overall going to be a good thing. Anything that brings in mass adoption is good for my portfolio. Of course, those who are only focused with Bitcoin as a solution for privacy might have different thoughts. But again, then we run into the kind of paradigm and dynamic where potentially we can see price appreciation of many assets, even Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is the untamed horse, if you will, the untamed horse, whereas everything else becomes more centralized and more taken over. So only time will tell in the future. Please let me know your thoughts and comments in the section down below. But either way, I think that this is overall quite good for the space. This is good for retail. This is good for normies. This is good for people who don't know. If Bakkt is able to successfully develop a very user-friendly, kind of all-inclusive cryptocurrency wallet app for mobile applications, then I think that can be very, very good. Because that's kind of what we've been talking about this week quite a little bit when we talked about the Lightning Network. We've talked about Bitcoin versus BSV and BCH. And we talked about Taproot integration and the new BIP, the Bitcoin Improvement Protocol, all the new features coming to the Bitcoin Core Network over the course of 2020. And the fact that, people are kind of pulling their hair out, wondering when are retail individuals going to figure out how awesome this stuff is and start using this? When are more merchants going to be accepting Bitcoin? And now I've made the argument that retail demand comes in first, and then the solutions get made. Of course, the alternative is that you can just get a big investor and make it, and that can spark retail demand if they see that it's so awesome. Generally, it happens the other way around. We'll see if Bakkt has it right this time. Now, our next story is going to be about Hawaii 5.0. Title of this article, this comes to us from the Daily Hodl, and the title of this article is, If This Bipartisan Bill Passes, Banks in Hawaii could hold Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for consumers. So to break this down, lawmakers in the state of Hawaii have introduced a bill that is claimed that is bipartisan, and this bill is going to concern regulating and permitting commercial banks to hold cryptocurrencies on behalf of customers. So approving legally custodial solutions for banks. The banks can now officially hold and be a custodian for personal individuals' private crypto assets. Now, this came into effect on this happened on January 17th. 5 senators from Hawaii introduced a bill defining all digital assets, and here's the key point, all digital assets as, quote, intangible personal property. Now, that categorizes cryptocurrencies by 3 different classes according to this bill: assets, securities, and digital currencies. 3 different things, the overall umbrella of private personal property, assets, securities, and currencies. Now, under the proposal, banks would be allowed to hold and manage all 3 of these different classes of cryptocurrencies, which would effectively extend crypto custody solutions to all of their banking clients. Now, important to note, these digital assets are not going to be deemed deposit liabilities or assets of the bank, meaning that the bank is not going to be financially responsible to have a fiduciary duty to custody according to best practices that I assume will be laid down. But you can't, because they're not depository liabilities or assets of the bank is not going to be able to thus consider them deposits. So for example, when you go deposit money into the bank, that's not your money. You are loaning that money to the bank. The bank can do whatever they want with it. Generally, they play the stock market, or they play the bond market, or they play the futures market, whatever. It depends on what bank you're banking with. Are you in Panama? Are you in Michigan? In this case, because they're not going to be depository liabilities or assets of the bank, they're not going to be able to do that, right? And also keep in mind that how could they? It's going to be on the blockchain. Now, of course, that doesn't preclude them, shadier banks, from doing these things on private networks. But, loaning out, paper Bitcoin, we could do a whole lot of stuff with paper, right? But without anything actually touching the blockchain. But even if they were to do something on the Lightning Network, that'd have to be eventually settled on the blockchain. So it just opens this kind of Pandora's box into how shady can banks get. Now, while they are going to accept these deposits of cryptocurrencies if this bill is passed, and they would not be classified as liabilities or assets of the bank, they would actually continue to remain. They would be classified as the personal property of the client. But this bill would allow banks to facilitate transactions per their customers' requests. So I believe this is almost universally in response to recognizing the nature of blockchain networks in regards to their immutability and their censorship resistance. Because of this, the bill limits a bank's liability in the event of a loss in cases where transactions were authorized by the customer to make the transaction. Again, the bank is not going to be able to gamble with your crypto assets, but at the same time, due to the non-confiscatable and immutable properties of Bitcoin, if you send them the wrong deposit address and they send your coins to somewhere where they can never be reclaimed, they're not going to be held financially liable. They're going to have a fiduciary duty to execute according to best practices. So I assume verification methods will be put in place. But if you make a mistake in telling them what to do with your crypto assets, that's your fault. Now, the bill also authorizes the Hawaii courts to hear claims and adjudicate cases relating to digital assets. Now, while the banking industry has largely avoided serving the crypto and Bitcoin space, typically characterizing the asset classes as untouchable and associated with criminal activity, the emergence of clear legal framework surrounding cryptocurrency, surrounding this new asset class, I think can help usher in a new era of legitimacy and adoption. And we're seeing this around the world. We're seeing this around the world. This is the bill has already passed the first reading. The bill has been referred to both the Senate Committee on Commerce, Consumer Protection and Health, that's the CPH over there in Hawaii, and the Senate Committee on the Judiciary, that's the JDC, for further examination. Now, the bill, of course, still has a long way to go. But this serves to bolster the case that jurisdictions around the world are considering adopting crypto-friendly legislation. I mean, just in late 2019, a bill was introduced in Germany to allow financial institutions to use crypto in similar manners as a traditional asset and allow them to extend deposit and custody services to their customers as well. Exactly what we're seeing down here in Hawaii. Now, of course, commercial banking getting into crypto custody seems to be a developing trend going forward this decade. We have to ask ourselves if this is a good thing and if we like it, but we have to understand, just as we dovetail with the previous story, that although this does strike against the crypto ethos, there is a lot of market participants right now who only want number to go up, and things like these undoubtedly will help number go up, guys. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. Is a good thing? Is this a bad thing? But I will tell you this, guys. This is not, we don't just bring these topics up to have something to talk about. This is allowing you guys to see the future trends. And individuals that haven't yet got some Bitcoin, aren't yet prepared for a face-melting bull market that will come, well, I think that they're going to be unfortunate. They're going to be unfortunate. Finishing up today, I want to touch on kind of a similar thing over here with my man, Jack Dorsey. This is kind of similar to what we just talked about with Bakkt, but Square, which is it's Jack's. They've been awarded a patent in the United States for a new network solution that is said to enable seamless crypto to fiat transactions. This is a little bit of a different development, but similar to what Bakkt is attempting to do with their mobile application. Now, they were granted this patent on Tuesday. The United States Patent and Trademark Office granted the patent and published details of a payment system allowing real-time transactions between users holding different asset types, whether one is holding United States dollars, one is holding Bitcoin, one is holding Ethereum, one is holding XRP. It's supposed to be seamless. Now, the present technology, as far as this patent is concerned, permits the first party to pay in any currency while permitting the second party to be paid in any currency, reads the application that Square had published, meaning that if you are the payee, you can pay in whatever you want. And then if you are the receiver, you can choose whatever funds you want to be received in. And the system does all of this arbitrage and exchange automatically. Now, the network itself can automatically exchange the sender's payments into the assets specified by the receiver. Now, according to that patent filing, Square's patented new system could be particularly advantageous for the retail sector, and I would agree. Many cryptocurrencies are going to be too volatile or too slow to become an effective payment solution. There's not a lot of merchants that can feasibly accept a payments method that either takes hours to process or takes hours to process and the value swings wildly. We're talking about a difference of 5 to 10% sometimes in a day. But this app can potentially remove barriers. With a system that features automatic exchange and real-time settlements, consumers can pay in their preferred currency or asset using a privacy coin to keep their identity secret, for example, and merchants receive the full value in an asset that they want to hold. So if someone wants to pay in Monero, and the other person wants to receive dollars, that's totally fine. If somebody wants to pay in Ethereum and somebody wants to receive Bitcoin, that's totally fine. System does it all automatically. Can you imagine the explosion that this can have in merchant adoption of accepting cryptocurrency payments and the effect, combined with the wallet application that Bakkt might be launching, of consumer adoption of cryptocurrency? You guys aren't yet bullish on Bitcoin for 2021? The patent suggests that the system could be extended to add support for other asset classes as well, including securities, derivatives, or loans. So we're talking about really creating a big soup of allowing you to pay in whatever you want and receive payment in whatever you want, which I think would be pretty cool. So, obviously we run a company, we get a lot of payment in dollars, but we might decide, you know what, we want to start stocking up our holdings of the S&P 500, or we want to start shorting the market. So instead of having to purchase that, we're just going to accept payments in shares of SH. Can we do that? Is that okay? Can you guys do that automatically for us? Boom, bam, done. When you can automate things, things get done far easier. Now, of course, Square integrated Bitcoin all the way back in 2018, and Dorsey himself has said multiple times that he believes that Bitcoin is going to be the native currency for the internet. Now they've been Square overall has been pretty reticent on other cryptocurrencies though. Now they've been asked multiple times if the firm plans to add support for other digital coins, and the head of their cryptocurrency team said last summer that they are still focused on Bitcoin and would continue supporting its network development and mass adoption. Now, they also announced in a blog post on Tuesday that they're going to be releasing a Lightning development kit, an SDK, enabling wallet and app developers to create layer 2 solutions on top of the Bitcoin protocol. So for those of you looking for that killer app, both in Bitcoin and in the Lightning Network, look no further, baby. 2020 and 2021 are going to be fantastic years. So again, let me know your thoughts and opinions, guys, whether they are questions, comments, sarcastic remarks, or death threats. Put them down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you learned. Let me know what you guys would like us to cover in future episodes. But that concludes today's cryptocurrency segment. I want to say we're going to hear a brief word from our friends over at ByBit here in just a second. But I do want to point out, ByBit's the exchange that I trade on. It's where I do almost all of my leverage trading nowadays. They do have a pretty sweet promotion going on right now. If you guys are trading on ByBit or you're not trading on ByBit, if you guys deposit 1 BTC just net from January 22nd to February 4th, you will get a $300 bonus. It's $300 in free money. You can withdraw your 1 BTC. You guys can go to the website to read all the terms and conditions. But again, they've done this before. We've done this with our trading competitions on ByBit as well. You get a free margin bonus. You can't withdraw the $300, but you can use it as the purposes for taking trades. You can put on $300 positions. You can use it as margin. You can take 100x leverage on it if you want. And any profits that you get, you can withdraw. So again, one strategy might be to deposit 1 BTC, get the $300, YOLO at 50x short with the $300, and you're basically flipping a coin. You might 10x it, you might negative 100% it, right? That's not really the style of trading that I recommend. Just a potential idea for you guys to do. But again, they're giving away $300 for free if you net deposit 1 BTC between January 22nd to February 4th. If you're not trading on ByBit, there is a link down in the description if you guys would like to sign up. We're going to hear a brief word from our friends over at ByBit, and we're going to get into your questions and answers on today's show. This is Jason when he first learned about Bitcoin margin trading on BitMEX.
Why? Why? Give it back! Give it back! Oh, give it back!
This is Jason 6 months later after signing up for ByBit with the Cracking Cryptocurrency referral link found in the description below. Don't make the same mistake as Jason. Sign up today at bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. All right, and we're back, guys. All right, we're back on the Bitcoin chart over here, and let's take a look at your questions. Of course, we have the super chat coming in from Mr. Eli Bakkt. Thank you so much, Eli. Hopefully you're doing fantastic today. He would like us to check out LSK. I assume you got to be up, what, $5 million so far right now? King of the shitcoins, Mr. Eli Bakkt. Let's check out LSK. And interestingly enough, we talked about LSK just a few days ago. We actually, this asset came up in the community mentoring session. One of our members was looking at the trade. I don't remember what the other asset that they had mentioned was, but they said that they were watching this other asset, and they didn't enter the trade and ended up appreciating in price quite a bit. And so they were looking at LSK and they were wondering if they should take the trade. And I said there could definitely be something here. So let's just take a gander over at LSK. Now, we had a couple bobs and bips getting in here. Let's see here. We do, not on this candle because that's going to be violating the trade qualifiers, but we do get a nice pullback here. Basically, we could have taken continuation trades on either of these closes. Depending on if you closed in channel, most likely you did. That initial one would have been a loss, but we do get continuation on all these trades. As you can see, our golden dot continuation system is firing, telling us trades are fine. So if one would have gotten in anywhere on these candles, you guys would have been able to take profit there because Quadrigo definitely would have caught you there. And then we have continuation on these three candles right here. And it was this candle right here that they actually had mentioned in the community mentoring session. So we have water confirmation on that exact same candle, rising explosion level. And we've got a beautiful kick up here from LSK. Beautiful kick up from LSK. So even from the entry point, we've seen almost a 20% increase on LSK. So congratulations again. In my opinion, this is definitely, I mean, we've almost certainly hit TP1. Absolutely. So we're going to have to look at our historical stop and targets here. Yeah, so from the entry right here, you would have hit take profit 1. You would already have hit take profit 2 if you're doing 1, 2, 3. And you've got a third take profit nestled up about 10,360 sats. Price currently trading at about 9,180 sats. Again, current take profit zone, if you're looking to continually update your TP zone, is going to have you initially taking profits right up around 9,954 sats, and then all the way up around 10,718 to 11,482. Now, do I think we're going to get that? I don't know. I don't really feel strongly about that. Again, doji candle indecision on the daily. Big move into the upside, explosion of volume. And overall, we can see that kind of, we are falling in volume just a little bit from yesterday. So definitely an area, whenever I see something like this, whenever I see a profit-taking candle, I like to take profit. So my suggestion, as always, take some profit, move that stop loss to break even, and see what you get out of this. Again, we're going to need to get all the way, because of the nature of altcoins, we're going to need to get actually all the way down to 824. But of course, we'll be out with our break even stop loss prior to that. But for those looking for the big wins, you lock in your profit, you secure your profit, and you wait for continuations to scale further in, or you wait for that exit signal to get out. We're not getting either on today's candle. Let's go to the 4 hour, see if we can get a little bit of nuance from this. 4 hour is going to be giving a continuation signal, pull back again to 909, current take profit of 96.24, 10,058, 10,492. I'd be a little bit hesitant on this one because again, we do have Wada confirmation. This is coming pretty much back nicely to the continuation zone. Let's see if we can get some continuation here on the 4 hour time frame. On the daily, again, clearly a take profit area and an area to move that stop loss up. Not an exit signal. We'll need to get a pullback a little bit to get an exit signal here on LSK after such an explosive movement. But great trade, man. As always getting the good trades. Always getting the good trades. And you said you got in about 8,300? Yeah, so, take some profit, brother. Good movement. XRP Dopamine wants to take a look at that. Take a look at VeChain. VeChain's ugly, man. Falling volume, bearish Wada Itar volume. We're in channel. This is a no-go for me. This is definitely a no-go for me. VeChain, BTC on the daily. Had a nice run up. Where were we? Yeah, had a nice run up, and we are just unfortunately on our way down. Now, interestingly enough, when we did kind of reach this local bottom here and rally up, what did we rally up to? About 73 sats again. We did actually broach the downside. So, I know we can't short VeChain, but just, talking about it as we would with any kind of trending asset. We don't want to be looking for shorts right now, but this is definitely not an entry for me. Let's take a look at the bottom feeder would have got you some decent profit right here. Actually, you guys can see the bottom feeder did actually get us in for a bottom feeder buy on this close right here. Had our stop loss down here, so that was nice, and we can see where it would have gotten us out at our take profit right there. So bottom feeder would have grabbed this real good. We don't see that on the table right now, so overall, VeChain is definitely a no-go for me, my friend. YA says, hi, do I think Bitcoin can go on to 8750 today? No, I don't. Wayne Arndt asks if we can take a look at Zcash. Of course, my friend. Let's look at your love, your one and only ZEC USD. Dun, 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 dun. Well, we got the exit signal over here on the 21st of January after a beautiful entry signal right here on the 5th. A beautiful run to the upside, guys. Unfortunately, this may not just be a pullback, my friend. We are in a no trade zone. We're going to need to rally and close above 52.98 to be getting back into Zcash. So absolutely would want to be out of this trade. We had a beautiful run up, beautiful movement. Beautiful movement here on Zcash. Explosive, nice movement from Zcash. But again, the time to take profit has come. We have broached the continuation filter while we are still holding the baseline, and we do need to be below 43.14 to be looking for shorts and be looking for that long bear market again. Again, we're in a no trade zone. We need to see some bullish volume, some bullish price appreciation. We have falling volume, not rising volume. That's not bullish to see. Although we have an indecision candle on the daily, that is just an indecision candle, not a bullish candle. Again, we need to be above 52.98 to look for continuation long, so I would definitely be out of this one. And I hate to tell you to sell the bottom if you haven't let go of it yet, depending on where you bought. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, my friend. But good trade. If you got in anywhere down here, man, you are walking away with a fantastic trade, a beautiful trade on Zcash. So definitely be happy. Take that home to the ringers and tell your wife that you are the best trader out there, man, because catching Zcash, you are. Cryptos and Tokens says, sup fam, and happy TGIF. Is anyone positioned in Square's stocks bullish? I actually am not. Oh, come on, man. Is SQ? I don't actually know if I've taken a look at... Yep, here we go. Yep, it is SQ. Definitely in a long consolidation after a beautiful run up here on Square. Let's just take a look at the daily. Daily is bullish, man. The daily is bullish. We just got fresh continuation today on the daily. I don't really like the look of the candle, but we don't care about none of that. Currently trading at about, what, 70.55? Yeah, bottom feeder would have had us buy all around here for a successful trade. Let's get rid of that. Let's put on Quadrigo. Let's look at our upsides from here. 72.45, 74.32, and 76.22. Looking for a long, kind of looking for this breakout. Again, I don't really like the look of the daily candle, but we got nice WADA confirmation. Nice movement to the upside, sideways, gap to the upside. And even if we fill that gap, even if we get that pullback to about $70, that would still be okay. As long as we don't close the daily below 68.80, I would be bullish on Square right now. Again, the news making the market gap up. Let's see if we can get some follow through on this. And Crypto Dave Jr. says, Cash App is the only way to go buying Bitcoin. It's instant, no waiting time. I still typically use Coinbase for most of my fiat-to-crypto purchases just because I've established a good relationship with them. But yes, I use the Cash App as well. It's on my phone. I've used the Cash App many, many times to get people into Bitcoin. Say I'm at a dinner party or I'm just anywhere out in public and I'm talking to people. They know who I am. They know what I do. And they're like, yeah, man, like I would like to get some Bitcoin, but I don't know. I'm like, hey, man, download that Square Cash App on your phone right now and I will send you $5 in Bitcoin. Just get you in. Let's go, baby. Okay, hey, by the way, I forgot to mention, guys, if you guys are looking to become full-time professional traders, and you've heard about the group but you're on the sidelines, I got something for you, fam. Go to crackingcryptocurrency.com/giveaway. We just broke the $200 level. We just broke the 200 user participation resistance mark on our giveaway. We are giving away 3 months of premium access. There are only 4 days left in the giveaway, so we will be announcing this live on the air next week. We'll be welcoming 3 new members into the premium trading group. No purchase necessary. Really happy to bring you guys in. Just in honor of kind of the bullish market. We like to give back to the community as much as possible. This is available for currently existing members if you guys would like to try as well. But yeah, you guys can, no purchase required. You can follow us on DLive, follow us on Twitch. Bonus for Twitch subscribers. Join our Discord server, visit our website, follow us over there on Twitter. I didn't put the retweet in here. I should have put the retweet in here. Man, who hires these guys? This guy does. But anyways, you guys can take advantage of that. Make sure to go check that out if you want. It is 1:10, guys. We got to start heading for the door here on the show, guys. It is Friday, and I got a lot to do today, guys. Let's check back in with Bitcoin real quick. Hasn't really moved much. Currently trading at about 84.81. So not a whole lot. Not a whole lot to report on right there. Crypto Rick wants to take a look at RLC USDT real quick. I got you, man. RLC USDT actually looks pretty good, man. Looking for continuation right now. Looking for continuation on today's daily candle, looking at 57 cents, 61 cents, and 66 cents, managing risk at 45 cents. Overall, this is pretty good. Little hesitant because we don't have a whole lot of historical data, but we are getting WADA. We are getting rising WADA volume, breaching the continuation line. I would take about half of my normal risk on that because we have limited market data. I'm always hesitant when we have limited market data. As you can see, the baseline like just appeared. So I'd be a little cautious on this. But overall, I can't deny that it does not look bad. Does not look bad. Last questions over here. What do I think about Monero on the weekly? I think Monero on the weekly looks fantastic, actually. Again, on the weekly time frame, we've got some good bullishness coming in from all of our major assets. So as you guys can see, on the weekly here, we did have a nice bullish candle. We're having a weekly correction, but we haven't violated the baseline yet. We're actually getting a golden dot continuation on the weekly close. Currently looking at take profit targets of 70.71, 79.82, and 88.94. With looking to violate the baseline. So if we close below 53.49, I would be out of this. Overall, I think Monero looks really good. I'm not going to lie. This overall does look like good breakout volume. I talked about the breakout weeks ago on Bitcoin when we actually got that first weekly buy signal. And we haven't lost that yet. Now, do I see on the daily? The daily is what I trade. Do I see a correction incoming? Yes, I do. But that doesn't mean that we've lost the bullish momentum. We'll keep that updated. And we'll look at the weekly on Bitcoin and the other majors on Monday when we come back for the live stream, because we will be taking the weekend off. Ace of Spades says, Justin, I'm looking for some advice as I work 9 to 5 and I keep missing my planned entries. Would you recommend I start entering limit buys at certain prices? My concern with that is that it just falls through. Then I'm left open with no stop loss until I can get in front of my PC. Well, you can set a stop loss and a limit buy. You can utilize a bunch of accounts. We'll have a solution for this actually pretty soon, maybe in the next 6 months. But right now, you can utilize something like 3 commas or trailing crypto. There's a lot of options. Our friends over at Gunbot have this lockdown. A lot of platforms where you can do this on, except for trading directly on the exchanges. So I would just do some research on maybe using a better interface for your trading rather than just the direct exchange. Like if you're trading on ByBit, for example, you can set a limit entry and then you can set a conditional market order to get out of the trade. So you can absolutely set a limit entry with a stop market order. Now, whether that's the best thing that you want to do, I don't know. That's something that you would have to back test. I'm not very familiar with exactly how you're going to be entering trades. The way I trade is I trade the daily close. Interestingly enough, we might potentially have a solution for that again in about 6 months for a lot of traders. So a lot of stuff we're going to be rolling out, but if you want to be trading the daily, then see if you can't line your schedule up with the daily close. If you can't set aside that 30 minutes to an hour to trade, then if not, then you just kind of need to sit down and evaluate your time schedule and see what's going to work the best for you. Out of the gate, I would say that setting limit orders may work. I don't know exactly what your entry is. That sounds like you want to buy reversals, and I typically buy breakouts and initiation and trending signals. So, if it's something that back tests well, you can kind of account for that in a model. I don't know. Play around with it, see if it works, see if you think it's going to work, see if it lines up with your model. When you say planned entries, like you're planning to enter at a certain area and then you're just not able to catch that movement and price has moved, well, then maybe if you're noticing that consistently that you are right to where price goes to and then price moves away and you don't get your entry, well, then yeah, maybe setting limit orders is absolutely the right solution for you. Just have to kind of take a look at your model. I'm not exactly sure how you'd be trading that. So with that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and head for the exit here. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It is Friday. It's been a fantastic show. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Your participation, as always, is highly appreciated. If you guys enjoy what we're doing and you want to support the channel, we can only do it with your support as a community. Make sure to subscribe if you're over there on YouTube. Give us a follow on Twitch or DLive, and make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you have not already. Leaving a comment down below lets us know as a team what we can work on better, what we can improve, what we can add to the show, and honestly what you guys are learning. We always want to improve and make this better. If you guys would like to join and trade with us, if you guys would like to begin your pathway to profit, make sure to check out all that we do as a service community at premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Don't forget, we are giving away 3 months of free premium trading group access. Links are down in the description for everything you could possibly need in life, and we will only add to that over time. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, or death threats, put those down in the comments section, guys. My name is Justin Wise, lead analyst, senior mentor for crackingcryptocurrency.com. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. As always, be excellent to one another and trade safely. And I'll see you guys back here on Monday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time.